Have you ever looked up at the night sky and felt a sense of wonder? The countless stars, glittering like diamonds on black velvet, have inspired humanity for millennia. They've guided sailors, sparked myths, and fueled our curiosity about the cosmos. But what if one night you looked up and they were all gone? Not just dimmed, but completely, utterly vanished. What would happen if the stars suddenly turned off? Let's be clear, this isn't about the sun. Our own star is still there, for now. This is about every other star in the sky. One moment, the familiar constellations are there: Orion, the Big Dipper, the Southern Cross. The next, just an endless, inky blackness, punctuated only by the moon and the faint smudges of our planetary neighbors. The immediate effect would be psychological. Panic would set in across the globe. Imagine the news reports, the social media frenzy. Scientists would be scrambling for answers. Was it an equipment malfunction, a strange atmospheric phenomenon? But every telescope, from the most powerful observatories to backyard amateur setups, would confirm the same terrifying truth: the stars are gone. Governments would declare states of emergency. People would be glued to their screens, desperate for an explanation. Religious leaders would offer interpretations, some seeing it as a divine sign, others as an apocalyptic omen. The collective anxiety would be immense. Our sense of place in the universe, our fundamental understanding of reality, would be shattered overnight. We've always seen ourselves as part of a vast, star-filled cosmos. Suddenly, we'd feel terrifyingly alone. Once the initial shock subsided, the scientific scramble would begin in earnest. The biggest question would be how. For the stars to disappear from our view, it means their light is no longer reaching us. This could imply a few mind-boggling scenarios. One possibility is that something is blocking the light. Imagine a colossal, galaxy-spanning object or cloud of dust that has instantaneously appeared between us and the rest of the universe. This is what science fiction often calls a Dyson sphere or a similar megastructure, but on an unimaginable scale. A civilization millions of years more advanced than us might have built a shell around our entire galaxy, or even our local group of galaxies, for reasons we couldn't possibly comprehend. Maybe they're harvesting the energy of all those stars, or maybe they're creating a cosmic quarantine zone, and we're inside it. The implications are staggering. We wouldn't just be not alone, we'd be living in someone else's construction project. Another, even more bizarre theory would involve the laws of physics themselves. Perhaps the speed of light suddenly, and inexplicably, dropped to near zero beyond our solar system. Or maybe space-time itself has warped in a way that prevents distant light from ever reaching us. These ideas sound like pure fantasy, but in the face of vanished stars, scientists would have to consider every possibility, no matter how outlandish. It would force a complete rewrite of physics as we know it. Einstein, Newton, all the giants of science, their work would become a historical footnote to a new, terrifying reality. But let's think about the practical consequences here on Earth. For most of human history, stars were our primary navigation tool. While we now have GPS, what happens when those satellite systems fail? GPS relies on incredibly precise timing signals, which are themselves calibrated using distant quasars, the supermassive black holes at the centers of distant galaxies. Without those reference points, our entire global positioning system could slowly drift and become unreliable. Ships at sea, airplanes in the sky, even your car's navigation could eventually be affected. We'd be forced to fall back on older, less precise methods. The loss of the stars would also be a devastating blow to astronomy. Every deep space telescope, like the James Webb and the Hubble, would become useless. Their purpose is to capture the faint light from distant stars and galaxies. With that light gone, their mission is over. All our knowledge of exoplanets, distant nebulae, the birth and death of stars, the structure of galaxies, the Big Bang, all of it would be frozen in time. Our cosmic window would be slammed shut. We could still study our own solar system, but the grander universe would be lost to us forever, a book we only got to read the first few pages of. The cultural and artistic impact would be profound. Think of how many songs, poems, and paintings are inspired by the stars. Van Gogh's Starry Night would become a historical document of a forgotten sky. Phrases like reach for the stars or written in the stars would take on a sad, hollow meaning. A fundamental source of human inspiration and wonder would be extinguished. What would we wish upon? What would we dream about when we looked into the darkness? As days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, humanity would have to adapt to this new, starless reality. The night sky, once a source of comfort and beauty, would become a symbol of our cosmic isolation. Some might fall into despair, feeling that humanity is trapped in a tiny, insignificant bubble. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence, SETI, would be over. There'd be no signals to listen for because there would be no one out there to send them, as far as we could tell. But humans are resilient. Others might find a new sense of purpose. If we are truly alone, then the responsibility to preserve life, consciousness, and knowledge falls squarely on our shoulders. It could unite humanity in a way nothing else ever has. National boundaries and petty conflicts might seem trivial in the face of such a profound cosmic event. Our focus would shift inward, to protecting our own world and exploring our own solar system with a newfound urgency. Mars, Europa, Titan, these would become our new frontiers, our only chance to expand our horizons. This new perspective might even be a catalyst for immense progress. With the mystery of the wider universe seemingly closed, we'd pour all our intellectual and material resources into understanding our own environment, solving our own problems, and ensuring the long-term survival of our species. We would have to become our own light in the darkness. Ultimately, the sudden disappearance of the stars would be the greatest mystery humanity has ever faced. We might never know the answer. Are we trapped? Are we alone? Or is something else going on, something so far beyond our comprehension that we can't even begin to guess? The starless sky would be a constant, humbling reminder. A reminder that the universe is not necessarily the stable, predictable place we thought it was. It would force us to confront our own fragility and our place in the cosmos. And perhaps, just perhaps, in that terrifying, empty darkness, we would find a new and more profound appreciation for the one star we have left, our sun, and for the precious, fragile world it illuminates. So next time you're outside on a clear night, take a moment. Look up at the stars. Appreciate them. Because while this is just a thought experiment, it reminds us that what we have is beautiful, mysterious, and not something to be taken for granted. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration of cosmic what-ifs. Let me know in the comments what you think would happen if the stars went out. I'd love to read your theories. See you next time.